Hello, good evening to everyone. I hope you all are doing well today and are as excited as I am for this session. Today is a special day. It's International Day of the Girl Child, a day to honor the remarkable potential and strength of the girl across the globe. And guess what? We have planned a session that perfectly embodies the spirit of empowerment. Also, let's appreciate our community partners, the Microsoft Learn student community and Google Developer Student Clubs from these many colleges. We really appreciate your contribution. Now, let's explore what's on the menu for today's agenda. Shall we? We will have an introduction of a speaker, their journey, college roadmap, DSA preparation, securing internships, how to stand out, insights about hackathons, final tips, and Q&A. Without further ado, let's welcome our distinguished speaker, Ms. Poonam Kalamkar ma'am. She is here to inspire, to ignite, and to remind us that the possibilities are just limitless. Let's take a brief introduction of our today's esteemed speaker, Ms. Poonam Kalamkar ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Hey Apurva, hi. How are you doing?
Well, ma'am, how about you?
I'm doing good too. Thank you for
Okay.
asking.
Okay. Ma'am has completed her BTech in Information Technology from VJTI College, Mumbai, and extended her studies by doing MTech in Software Systems from BITS Pilani. Ma'am had worked for Visa, the leading digital payment firm, for more than 3 years, where they worked on legal Linux troubleshooting difficulties and solved network solving problems using the Visa AI platform. Currently, she's a senior director services engineer at Microsoft, where they are working on Microsoft's enterprise clients. She is well versed in Windows Active Directory, Linux troubleshooting, and networking, but she also has a keen interest in program management, Python, and data science. What commendable accomplishment, right? I can guarantee this session is a feast of knowledge and experience for all students like us. Now, ma'am, before diving into the session, could you share what inspired you to pursue a career in tech?
So from childhood only, I used to we used to have computer classes in our school time. So I was very much excited for that one lecture that used to come in the school. So that time only, I was like, yeah, I want to go into computers. That I had decided. So after my 10th, there's no doubt that I want to persevere for computers. So I opted for diploma, and the path was straightforward from then. I was sure that I don't want to go into medical and other stuff, but was into tech because I wanted to know how the system works, how does the real time. I wanted to solve the real time problems basically. So that fascinated me to go into tech, and here I am today.
That's a great inspiration, ma'am. Which takes us to my next question. What was your journey to the BITS Pilani from for MTech? Like, how did you
So
prepare?
okay,
Everything.
so I wanted to do MTech from actually, I was into MBA, but my parents wanted me to go for an MTech. So
Okay.
I had started my preparation for MTech in my, you can say, third year of engineering. I had joined the GATE classes because for MTech you have to prepare for GATE. But then I was like, I wanted to go for placements, and my parents wanted to go me for MTech. So that's where I was in the situation. Then I got a placement on campus was Oracle. I was placed, and after that I stopped studying for MTech. I was like, I want to work into tech, and I started again preparing for my technical studies. And then off campus I got a visa. So when I went to visa, there were few of my friends who were doing MTech from BITS Pilani.
Okay.
So I asked them is there a way that I don't take a drop and I can pursue my MTech as well side by side? So yeah, there was an option. So BITS Pilani conducts a program called as Work Integrated Learning Program, which is for working professionals. So this program is like a complete MTech which you get outside. The degree also
Mm-hmm.
doesn't give anywhere. It's like an external degree. Nowhere it's written because it's complete package what you do for an MTech. So the
Mm-hmm.
criteria to get into BITS, like for the work integrated program, is you have to complete your 1 year of experience. as a working professional, be it in any company or any field. So they do have various specializations. So mine was data science that I opted for. So you can choose four majors subjects, and then you can get the specialization. So it's complete 2 years program where you have assignments, then practicals. It's like your complete college that you have. So it is very difficult for me to be like working and managing my
Hmm.
studies, to be very honest. So they conduct the weekend classes. So it's like Saturday, Sunday, whole day you have to sit, attend the lectures, then do the assignments, make groups, do group study. So it's like complete
Oh,
college, whatever you experience. The only difference here is you cannot apply for placements like
okay.
you do for a full time, because it's just an upgrade, technical upgrade which you get, but the degree is similar to what you get from a BITS MTech normal, which you do. So,
Okay.
so that's how I completed my MTech, and I was pursuing my technical also. So there was no gap in my education. Uh, it was like 3 years I was working with visa, and correspondence I was working with this work integrated learning program, and I completed my MTech from BITS Pilani.
And that's great.
So
Because
my this
every one of us.
program, yeah. So this program was sponsored by my company.
Oh,
The Yeah, so I didn't spend anything on this. It's like I had to get certain kind of grades to get the sponsorship. So once I have that, my company used to sponsor me from books and everything. So it was complete a free course for me. But yeah, for the people whose companies don't sponsor them, they can do it by themselves also. You just need a mentor from your organization, and there are certain documents that are needed, so you can go for it. For the people who don't want to take a gap in their education and have a good degree college, so yeah, that's something I
oh,
did to get into it.
nice. So we have a next question for that I would like to call Tanvi. Can we have?
Yeah.
Okay, hello ma'am.
Hey Tanvi, how are
So
you?
great hearing you. I'm fine. How are you?
I am doing good too.
Okay, thank you ma'am for. I would like to ask you about. Can you share with us a detailed year-wise roadmap which will help students to upskill their skills?
For DSA or
No.
so.
Roadmap about first year, second year, like that.
Okay. So first year I would suggest is like you start with the basic programming. Stick to one language. I won't suggest like go for 2 3 languages, because it's create a confusion later. So stick to any one language which you are comfortable. Maybe Java, maybe Python. And then once you have that language, make sure you are hands like practicing all the syntax and everything. Uh, Also, there are like core subjects which we have in our first year, maybe operating system, data structures, then networking. So I would like suggest anybody to have that basic subjects clear, and DSC is something we all know uh, is mandatory. So how do you study DSA? If that's your question, then yeah. What I would suggest is you if you want to code quickly, first make like there would what I suggest is first like you can there are books which you can follow a depth first approach. Like it's kind of like you pick any book. There would be some fixed programs which are like from a specific, like suppose if you're targeting arrays, so there will be some selected programs. So there I would recommend you two books which you can start with initially, is like Elements of Programming Interviews or Cracking the Coding Interviews. Once you start that, then make sure you master each data structure. So like if you're going with, you can start with arrays, then list, then go with 2D arrays, maybe then strings, linked list, stacks, so queues, hashtags. So make sure you like don't do all together. So suppose if you're doing, what I used to do is, the best technique is like if you're solving a program today, make sure you solve it again in 3 days. See if you're able to solve it, maybe then in a week, and then in a month. So that's how you solve a program, because the key is not to remember the solution, but to the key is to practice them. So whenever you see a problem, you should immediately break it down, recreate the solution, and then try to recognize the different component that it has, and then break down them, and then start solving them. So that's how I used to do. Then the other approach I would suggest is make sure you practice on paper. There are some benefits that if you practice on paper is that you're forced to plan a code before you write them. So I have seen like students rushing and directly going to HackerRank and then start coding. So that's not what I used to follow. I used to take a pen and paper. I used to force myself to write it down like whatever it's coming into my mind. Then retype it. Make sure that you are using a correct language, like whatever you want to go with, you have that syntax with you. Then when you can practice it on pen and paper anywhere. So this will help you to give a realistic simulation of how whiteboard interviews look like, because when you go for an interview, they give you a pen and paper or maybe a whiteboard where you want to like code. So there is sometime like most of the interviews don't in the initial stage, maybe yeah, you'll have that hacker rank platform where you code and run your test cases. But you go for an interview, it's basically a white pen and paper. So you should have that habit of how you write your logic, how do you split the program. Just don't go and rush into like solving the DSAs. So that was the approach I used to follow in my first year and do the interviews. So the sites I would suggest is you can go for Gigs for Gigs. If you want to target any specific companies, there would be company wise questions, so you can target them. If you want to practice a subject wise, like maybe array, so that there are questions that wise also. Lead code is there, hacker earth is there, so you can target whatever suits you and then practice accordingly. So if you follow that approach, like if you're doing one program today, then again practicing it in 3 days, then again in 1 week, then in 1 month, so maybe you will get hands on it, because it doesn't come like in one day. So it requires a lot of practice and practice. So that's how you do that. And instead of remembering things, try to practice things. That will help you a lot. Like how does the logic works? So if you know how it works, you will, even if there are some changes or something, you'll be able to solve it. So try to do that way. Like once you're writing a code, try to optimize it, try to reduce the complexity, try multiple ways. The more you try to practice, the more you'll get the understanding.
Means practice is more important than learning new technologies.
Yeah, practice makes man perfect. So that's how
Yes.
you go it and approach it. Yeah. So apart from that, stick to your core subjects. And the other thing is when you're preparing for your interviews, make sure you just don't go with DSA, but there are many other things that like polishes you to perform or outstand in an interview. I was asked many puzzles when I interviewed for visa, so that tests your logic as well. So make sure on Gigs for Gigs also you'll find many puzzles, frequently asked puzzles by the companies. You can practice them. Apart from that, I was asked like the theory of compute. I don't know. It depends on interview to interview. But I was asked in my visa interview about some TOC concepts out of nowhere. So make sure you just don't go for the basic subjects, but also have the knowledge of what you're studying in your entire engineering. Because if somebody asks you something, at least you should be aware of basics, like how it works or how the logic works. You should not be surprised like this is happening. So yeah, that's what I would suggest. And go for networking as well, because you should know how the world works, how the IPs works.
Yeah.
The basic networking is much needed if you're going for any interview.
Yes.
And later is like when you're finalizing your projects, so make sure that you know what's the real time problem. So target
Yeah.
the real time problems, because I've seen students like going and like searching for the recent projects and then doing. But I would suggest just think out of box, stand out in your project, because that will also help you to gain a good job. Because if you have a good project in your final year, uh, maybe the interview, when you go for an interview, it will help you outstand there. So when you're finalizing project, make sure you're targeting some real world problems and not just going with whatever is available on the internet. So yeah, that's what I followed. And you can do mock interviews also. So what we used to do in our time is like practicing with your friends before you are going. Or DAC, I used to basically do a group study. That that's how like it used to help me. for people who don't have groups, there are groups available on Telegram as well. If you join for a DSA, you can post your queries there. People do help out. If you want a group to study, they will, like, you can create groups there and study. So like now, if Telegram is very much advanced, so DSA, there are many groups available there. You can join if you need some help. People do help there out. And the other thing is your own practice. So even if you join there, so that's how you do. And hacker rank, if you, hackathons, and there are many other stuff that happens in your engineering. So don't be a nerd and just stick to the technical things, I would say, but do something that will make you outshine in your interviews, like hackathons. So basically hackathon is nothing but a competition where you have to sit like for 24 hours or maybe 48 hours, the entire night. You target a real time solution. You sit with a group of people and you code there or work on that, brainstorm on that idea. So if you're practicing something like this in your early college days, there are many opportunities you might get from hackathon which you don't know. Example, if you find an outstanding problem um, which is not existing in the market, so you're working on it, maybe you can land up on your own startup or something project which is not existing in the market. So that's something hackathon might help you indirectly. Also, you can network various people from different streams when you go there. There are industry experts that come, so you get a great opportunity to interact with them. How does the industry work? You can make new friends. You can form many technical groups, so it's a great way to network and expand your career. Apart from that, you can polish your technical skills, which theoretically which you study in your college, is a great platform where you can hackathons will help you to like have them practically implemented. Also, a
Okay.
big thing is you can take risks in hackathon, which in real time you may not get that opportunity, because it is
Yes.
like nothing is at your stake. It's just an 48 hours where you can brainstorm and do things. So risk taking is something you learn in hackathons, which is a big thing. So when you have participated in hackathons and you add that in your resume, people from the interviewer, like the whatever skills he's expecting, like risk taking, networking, it is also polishing your soft skills along with your technical skills. So that is also something you develop. So that's something hackathon will definitely help and will make you outstand in your career. So I think
which
people should participate in hackathons.
which are equally important to the
Yes.
technical skills these days for interviews.
Yes. Yeah,
And we
more
have
than
many
technical,
audience.
soft skills is also needed, I feel. Because I've seen people
Yeah.
that they know technical things, but they are not
Hmm.
able to express themselves. So
Yeah.
if you are
Exactly.
unable to express yourself and you have knowledge, so sometimes it may be like not leading you anywhere. So it's equally important to have your soft skills. For that, you can maybe practice. What I used to do is I used to participate in debate competitions in my college days. Then
Okay.
technical paper presentation was something I did a
Hmm.
lot. That helped me to learn new technologies, as well as when you're presenting in public, you get that soft skills like how to present. You
Yeah.
get the speech confidence. You develop your soft skills there. So I recommend you to go for such things, not just sticks to your academic, because academics is like something 50%. Apart from that is something you develop
Yeah.
and add.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes.
These tips are going to be something very essential for the audience which are preparing for their placements. So thank you for that tip.
yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
and also you answered like many of our audience is preparing for placements this year. So the main villain of many students is DSA. So like okay, so I would like to go for the next question. So,
Mhm.
ma'am, as we do a lot of efforts in the field, but only some people stand out. So, can you please guide us through your valuable experiences regarding same?
In your placements, if you want to stand out, make sure you have
Yes.
something which other people don't have, because you have to be unique in order to get your resume shortlisted or maybe stand out from the crowd. So for doing that, what I used to follow is when you're doing your resume, make sure you have something which other people don't have. So the things which I suggested, like you can go for paper presentations or any state competition. So that Smart India Hackathon, which you can participate, which I think is in November second week or third week.
Yes.
So if you have that added on your resume, it will make you stand out. The things which you are doing now, like this Microsoft Learn program, this will also help you to stand out from the other people because you're interacting with people. This is also developing your soft skills. So something like this, there are many communities, like if you want to, if girls want to participate, so there are many communities like girls who code, women's who code, women's in data science. So you can join those groups and get your hands on, network with people, and you can add those things to your resume which will make you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Would you
Ma'am,
like to
also,
elaborate more on?
for
Mhm.
placements,
So
yes,
placements don't follow a
like
single
for
resume, I would say.
freshers, how to start.
If you're targeting for on campus or off campus, so again it
Okay.
depends. So if you are having like in your colleges, there are many companies that come. So I think they do share you the job description. So make sure you don't always follow a single resume everywhere, uh, because that won't land you anywhere. It should always be updated with the current keywords of your job description. Like, because if you want to get hired, make sure you match to what is required in the market to what you are providing. It is always the demand and supply that goes. So if you are if the company is coming for coding and your resume is with networking, so it won't get you. So nowadays what happens is, it is not that actual HRs filter your resume, it's the ATS, that is the application, which will come and shortlist the resume. So make sure you add your keywords to the resume. Suppose if you're going for a Java developer, so make sure all the Java related jargons are added to your resume, so that you have the highest probability of getting shortlisted. Because if it's according to the what the interviewer wants, it's more the chances you get shortlisted. The other thing is maintain a good CGPA, I would say, because not
Yeah.
many companies would want someone with a backlog. Very rare case, if you have
Yeah.
a good luck, you will be shortlisted. But if you're targeting for a good package, the
Hmm.
average CGPA I've seen is like 7.5 for dream companies. If you want to target like Fang or any other company which is dream, so it's always good to have a good CGPA. Apart from that, something which other people don't have. So in college, everybody will study the same subject. But if you're doing something apart from your curriculum, which you don't have, like doing any certifications, which will show that you are taking that initiative to upskill yourself, which other people might not in the college days. So having right certifications which you are interested shows that you are keen into learning new things, or you are that person who interviewer can trust, is upskilling himself, and sparing that extra time which others don't. So having right certifications is a must, I would say. Like, it's always a good idea. Don't go for
Yes.
any paid certifications. There are many few also that you get at your college level, so you can go for those instead of spending thousands. And the other thing I mentioned is joining communities or having hackathons, doing the presentations, or anything that will make you outstand from the others will help you to get a good job.
Ma'am, do you have any experience regarding hackathons, like what you did at your hackathon?
I had participated in like my Microsoft hackathon. I didn't do at my college time any hackathon. So
Okay.
in Microsoft, we are working on like our internal tool, which I cannot reveal those details. But yeah, we are working on the thing which can give customer a good experience, which may educate them and like at their level. So it's like a brainstorming sessions. We meet different kind of people from different teams, so it's kind of good experience. I have networked a lot of people whom I don't know. Then I'm getting to know different technologies, which is not in my current job description. So that is something, that extra things I'm learning. So yeah, hackathon is
Yes.
always a good thing where you have fun, you learn things, you network people,
Yeah.
and you never feel bored. Even if it's like 48 to 78 hours, you won't realize that when the time passes, because You have
Okay.
an absolute fun in there. Like there are many games that happens along with the
Okay.
technical stuff that's happening. You make new friends. So yeah, it's a good experience. I like one should have once at least, I would suggest,
Okay.
because
So
you
many.
will have something which is out of box. You don't
Okay.
know like what's going in your mind is something what I don't think. And when we are
Hmm.
discussing it together, you will be like, yeah, okay, this can also happen. So something wow moments you will have. It will boost your confidence,
Hmm.
because you will come something like you will be like, I didn't know this, but after participating, yeah, I know this exists and this can work or this can happen. So boosting confidence, gaining that self, overcoming that self doubts or imposter
Yeah.
syndrome is something you learn in hackathon. So must try, I would say.
We are actually participating in Smart India Hackathon, so this is gonna come helpful for us,
Yeah,
surely.
definitely. Smart India Hackathon, like my friends had participated. I didn't do
Hmm.
that, but
Hmm.
from their experience, they had made many new friends. Like it's all India, right?
Oh,
That happens.
yeah.
So you interact with people, you make new
Yes.
friends, and that might help you later also to get referrals and everything.
Hmm.
Many industrial experts will come, so you'll interact with them. You'll know how the industry works. So yeah, definitely a good experience. I would give all the best to you guys and make most of it whatever you can in that.
Yes.
Thank you,
Definitely.
ma'am.
Okay. So, uh, okay, like landing your dream job right from your internship sounds exciting, but also turning it into a golden ticket for a full-time job offer. Like, can you share the secret recipe for this pre-placement offer?
So pre-placement, actually, I haven't got any PPO to be
Oh.
honest. I landed Microsoft after 3 years of my college. But yeah, if you are like getting a good internship at your college days, so in PPO, what happens is the competition is less, to be very honest, because
Hmm.
the people who appear for internships will only have that PPO opportunity compared to what you're going for an on-campus.
Hmm.
So make sure that when you're going for the internships, make sure you understand the role. You network with the right people. Try to understand how the functioning works. If you're not understanding any task which is assigned to you, make sure
Hmm.
you have that questions clarified, because at the end, when like most of the companies do have that exam to get a PPO offer. That's what I've seen.
Hmm.
So in order to crack that exam, you should have your homework done. That's what I would say. Like it's not like someone is assigning task and you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. Instead, know like why it is done, why it should be done. Ask questions, because clarification makes things easier. The more you ask, the more you'll learn. Maybe sometimes you interpret the wrong thing, which is not required. I had faced that experience. So the more you ask, the more you'll learn, the more you'll grow. Make good network, ask people or communicate with your seniors. How did they get PPO? It's the only criteria is that you have your exam clarified, or do they have any other criteria also? Your behavior also determines, like if you're assigned a
Hmm.
task in your internship, how are you behaving with your colleagues? How are
Hmm.
you trying to take initiatives? So that all how matters. So from the first day only, you should be like, yeah, I want to get a PPO, so I will be doing this things, that things. Communicate with your manager. A mentor will be assigned to you, so communicate with them. How was their roadmap? How did they work in that industry? Because every team will function differently. So make sure you understand those things, and then you can get a PPO easily. But for the people who don't get a PPO, that's also absolutely fine. Like I didn't get one.
Hmm.
So for you guys, you can keep applying wherever you want. Like
Hmm.
I gave almost 65 to 70 interviews,
Oh,
because it's not like you go for one interview and you crack it. It's not how it works.
yeah.
Sometimes you might get, sometimes you might not get. But when you're not getting, it's your duty. When you come
Hmm.
back home, what question was asked, you have to
Hmm.
like sit
Hmm.
down. It's your homework. When you come back, like this was the question that I was asked and I was not able to answer. So next time, what do I do to get that answer?
Hmm.
So that will help you to develop your confidence. So when next time you're going, you will be like, yeah, I know this last time I was not able to do this, but yeah, this time I'll be able to do. So you can ask interviewer the feedback as well. uh,
Okay.
they do provide, like it in
Hmm.
a very decent way, not like why I was not selected, but yeah, how, what can I do
Hmm.
to improve,
Hmm.
like what went wrong. You can analyze yourself, sit with a pen and paper, what mistakes you
Hmm.
made, how you could have corrected, and rectify it next time when you're going. So that's something your homework. Nobody will tell you to do that. It's
Hmm.
completely optional. But I used to do that. I used to practice a lot, and that made me more confident whenever I used to appear for next interview. If you want to get an offer, when, like
Hmm.
when you're trying off campus, so not always all colleges will offer you good companies. So
Hmm.
it's your duty to reach out to people on LinkedIn. That's what I used to do. So it's not
Hmm.
like you just drop in hi to the people. So everybody is a working professional. They just don't have time to chit chat with you. So it's your
Yeah.
duty. You go on their website, check like what job you're targeting, have that job ID handy. You just there would be many templates you will find online. So just drop like an hi, ma'am, sir, I am looking for this opportunity. Was
Hmm.
looking and found that these are the relevant skills that I have. This is my resume. Could you
Hmm.
please revert back? So that's how you approach people, or that's how you communicate with them. Not like just hi, hello. If you're doing that, nobody is gonna like entertain you. So make sure you have that proper format. You do your homework before you're reaching out to somebody. That's how you work. So you can get like off campus opportunities that way. I had got my visa opportunity that way only. So I didn't get my visa on campus. On campus I had got Oracle. But if you're going for off campus, there is always a lot of competition. So make sure that in order to stand out, your resume is maybe creative, or you have something which other people don't have. So there was a guy in my off campus round who made a resume like a visa card. So that was something outstanding he had, which other people didn't. So it was like, you have seen visa card, right? How it looks. So his resume was in that format. So make sure you have some creative things which will make you outstand from the people, and also your technical skills. But yeah,
Yeah.
something that will make you outstand. And the more you network, the more you talk. So on Telegram also you'll find many off-campus fresher groups which you can join, where people
Hmm.
posting about freshers. So you can join those group and get the offer off campus as well. Like I've seen many people getting from there as well. If you're not getting from your on campus, that's absolutely fine. You can have all these options explored as well.
So we had a next question planned for the same, which is a resume building.
Mhm.
Then we can you go for that?
Yes. Okay, ma'am. As resume building is very important, so we want to know that how to make every section of resume shine and reflect your capabilities.
So your resume is basically your snapshot of your entire career.
Hmm.
So that snapshot
Yeah.
should be like just one go. People should be able to see what you have done. So how do you approach it? What I follow is I have one formula, which is like, accomplishment if is like, if I have made an X accomplishment, so you have something to measure it with Y,
Okay.
and then doing it with some Z. So suppose if I have worked on certain things, so how did I do that with this? So what was the impact? Like 20% people were able to solve this problem. So there should be some impact. So you follow
Hmm.
that formula, that what is the accomplishment you did. Like suppose you're doing an X accomplishment with which will be measured by some Y, like this was that, and how it will be by doing Z. So how did you do that? So
Hmm.
follow that XYZ formula, and have an outstanding resume. It should be like the impact, what you did, and then it should be always a one-page resume. That's what I follow, because it is easy to scan. Like nobody has time to go through 2 3 pages. So always have that one-page resume. Uh, so if you're targeting for like a certain job role, so make sure you have those keywords, or the summary or the mission statement is clear to what you're applying. It should not be like something else. So there should be always something relevant to whatever you're applying. Right keywords is always what I stick to. And I don't have one always. I don't use a single resume everywhere. I always keep modifying it whenever I'm applying. Like I'll just quickly go through the job description, make changes to my resume, and then I'll apply. Yeah, and you should have an academic section, because since you are coming from a college now, so make sure you have all your 10th marks, or if you're doing some diploma or 12th, accordingly you add that, and your last year current semester. percentile or percentage, whatever you guys have. Apart from that, make sure you have a skill section where you mention, like, what I follow is, I split it down to points. So suppose languages, so what all languages I know. Database, so what all database I have expertise on. So networks, so what all tools I know from networks. So something like that you can have at your college level, which will
Okay.
make you, because if it's in points, everybody likes to read it. If it's in paragraph, nobody will go through it. So make sure you have it in, like, a good, the format should be good. There are various templates that are available online, so you can go through that template, readily available. Use that. Hobbies, if you're mentioning anything, the pro tip is don't fake anything on your resume,
Okay.
because interviews do catch it in one go. Like, if you are uh, going for an interview and you're bluffing something, the other person will get it in one go because they are more experienced than you. So if you think you
Yeah.
can make other person, you cannot. So even if it's a short resume, I would say that's fine, but don't bluff anything. And because what will happen is, if you're bluffing something, like in your hobbies, if you're writing, you can read, you are reading, you have that hobby of reading. But if the interview is also into reading and he asks, like, what is last book you have read, and you don't have answer for that, then it's
Yeah.
completely not a good impression that you create. Or uh, something like you're faking, like language which you have not done anything, or you don't have any hands on a project, you're just copying it from internet or maybe your friend. So they do come to know about those things. So make sure you only write the things which you know, because you're, it is something which the interviewer scans first and then starts your interview. And if something is bluffed on that, so it doesn't create a good impression. So even when you're starting
Yeah.
your introduction, I would say, make sure, like, when you're, the basic question everybody asks is, tell me about yourself. So I would say this is something you can drive your interview. That's how I used to drive my interview. So it's like, it's completely in your hand what you speak. Because what the other person does is, if you are mentioning that this is my name, I have done this, or I am well versed in this technologies, so make sure you, when you're mentioning any technology, you're mentioning those technology which you know or you have worked on. Because you yourself drive your interview. If you say a word which you don't know and the other person catches it, so your interview is completely screwed. So make sure you practice all these questions. Like, what I used to do is, I used to write down those questions. I don't know people prefer or not, but my was, like, I used to, the basic questions that are asked, like your positives or your negative points or what you're good at. So make sure you have this written before. It's not like you something go there and write, or directly say. And don't say, like, I don't have any, when they say weakness, I don't have any weakness, nobody's perfect. So don't lie there, because people do come to know. Yeah, make sure you say a weakness which is maybe relevant. uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean something honest,
Yeah.
because people do come to know. So be truth, like have that truthfulness when you're speaking, because yeah, the other person sitting in front of you is more experienced than you and they've seen more candidates than you. So make sure you follow all these things, and that's how if you're honest, you have a good resume. You are writing selected things, but you're confident about that, yeah, you can definitely go through the interview. Because from a fresher, there are, like, not that expectation that you know this, you that. Because when you join a company, they do give you a training, and you might land up in some other team which you have not worked on. But at that time, they'll just see your approach. How do you solve the problems? How are you working in a team, or how do you tackle situations? So that's how we'll take you as a fresher. Because at fresher, there in IT, if you see, there are many things, data science, this, that. They don't expect you to have hands on everything. They also know
Yeah.
that as a fresher, that's not possible. So the basic subjects and the basic things, stick to it, and yeah, you'll get through it.
I had a same question while I was interviewing for GDSC lead. The interviewer asked me the same question, that tell me about your weakness. And some of my friends told me beforehand only that please answer this question wisely, which I did. I, being very clear cut, I answered them that I think these are my weakness and these are my strength when they asked about the strength. So yeah, this is essential that you should mention your weakness as well.
Yeah, and if you're mentioning your weakness, make sure
Yeah.
you have a backup point to say that you're working on it, not just
Yeah.
you tell that. So suppose
Hmm.
if I say I cannot say no to people is my weakness. If I'm
Hmm.
answering that, so how am I working on that? You should have that answer also. So
Yeah.
that's how you balance the situations. Uh, like you cannot say I don't have a weakness. Obviously, everybody has. No, you are human and nobody can be perfect. So
Yeah.
be honest, but make sure you are not bluffing anything or whatever you're saying is sticking to the point. That's basically how
And
you
we are
deal with
not
it.
bragging anything basically.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So next
Like
topic is
just to
actually
be
one of my,
truthful.
Hmm.
yeah, next topic is like my favorite topic, which is about a woman in tech world. Like how, what are those obstacles which women face in this tech world, in that 9 to 5 job, in that corporate world, basically.
So yeah, I started my career in a team where I was the only girl. Uh, so I know how it feels like when because I was a fresher and there was a team where the other four were all guys. So initially, it was very difficult for me, but I didn't
Mhm.
face any major things. Like initially I used to feel very lonely, but yeah, later the tech ratio is always less compared to like you won't see
After.
equal. In many
Mm.
yeah now in my team it's equal girls and guys, but in many teams you will feel that I had that in my initial days. The things
Okay.
which women face is like currently it's all equal, but initial days if I say like personally I've not faced any inequality that I am a girl so
Mm.
I'll be treated like this. But yeah, in some companies I have seen that if you are a girl then people will be like you are not well versed into technical things. That's
Hmm.
something in the head of like you are a girl you
Yeah.
might not be well so it's something
Hmm.
underestimating of women that I've seen happening with my friends.
Hmm.
Fortunately it has not happened with me.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
always been in a good circle, but yeah that do happen that people will be like you are not good at technical things, or if you are raising any point there will be like yeah maybe some other things, or maybe they'll cross verify. So very less I would say not happening today, but yeah this might happen. Other thing is, if you are a woman, you might go for pregnancy leave, so that time your promotion gets hampered, or maybe your bonus is affected. So those
Hmm.
things you might face, but very less these days. I have seen recently only in the Google firing that happened. The
Okay.
women which were on pregnancy leave were fired. So
Oh.
that's something is still there, but very
Hmm.
less if you say. The other thing is like yeah if you have a good network or
Hmm.
you make good friends, you don't first of all you should not feel that I am a girl, everybody is equal. That's what I follow. Maybe that's the
क्यों
reason
हो
I've
रहा है
never
यार?
faced this
Shit.
inequality. So
मीटिंग में से
that's how you deal. Like you should not underestimate yourself that you are a girl. And then once you have that mindset that yes you are also as equal as guys, or first of all remove that mindset. I am a single child at my home also, so being a girl I've always raised equally. Like there's no such thing as women or men in my house. It's a individual that you are, make sure you follow that. um, Once you have that in your mind, right, that everybody is same, you won't be dealing with women in tech or like this. All is your mindset. You have to, because once you make sure, if you give it, you start telling yourself that I am a girl, this will happen to
Hmm.
me, then things will happen to you. Or
Yeah.
people will say that you are a girl, you should not work in this field or that field,
Hmm.
or technically things, women are not good at technical things, you might hear this. And
Yeah.
that's when people tell you to go into management, or they say like how will you manage your work once
House.
you have kids and everything. So it's all in
Yeah.
your head.
Hmm.
So what you have to do is remove that taboo from your mind and think like yes I can do it. And that's how you progress. And if you want to be in like women in tech, there are many groups
Hmm.
which you can join, like as I said, girls who code, or
Okay.
women's in tech. So if you have those, you have a good community of girls, so you network with them, you learn many good things from them. And nowadays I have seen very less discrepancies between men and women in IT, to be very honest, or I was fortunate that I didn't face that. But yeah, even if you're facing that, you can always talk to people, like your
Mm-hmm.
manager or your mentor.
Hmm.
And there are many posh things. I mean, posh is something a law that is there. So
Okay.
you can always reach out if somebody is troubling you or you're facing any
Mm-hmm.
kind of sexual comments or anything. So that's always there. You can reach out. But yeah, apart from that, everything is in your head. And if you remove that, like men and women are different, you can think yourself as an individual entity. That's what I think. I never say that I am a girl
Hmm.
and I should do this or I should do that.
Hmm.
uh, because I'm raised that way. I am a single girl child at my home. I don't have any
Okay.
siblings. So once you have that mindset that yes, you are like other people, don't underestimate
Hmm.
yourself. There will be challenges, but there is always an. What I do is when I joined Microsoft, I had that
Mm-hmm.
imposter syndrome. That how will I survive here? I don't know this. Uh,
Okay.
how will how I have landed job, but I don't know how will I survive. So what I used to
Hmm.
do is I used to talk to my seniors, my
Hmm.
mentors, like how did they deal when they were as a fresher. And
Okay.
imposter syndrome is something common you will face whenever you will join a job. So in imposter syndrome, what happens is you will feel like you're not worthy to do this thing.
Hmm.
So
It
you start
happens. It
underestimating.
happens
Yeah,
every
it
time.
happens with everybody. Whenever you have any life change, you start feeling that
Yeah.
I am not worth doing this. But at that
Hmm.
time, you don't have to underestimate yourself. Yes, take your time, cry for like 5-10 minutes. That's what I do. Sit. Then I write down what is troubling me. Is there any
Hmm.
solution I can do? Then I
Hmm.
talk to people, and whenever I talk to people, I always feel that instead of making mistakes, it's better you talk to people and learn from their mistakes.
Hmm.
That's the approach I follow. So I network, I talk to my mentors, my TAs, whosoever is there. I
Hmm.
learn from them. How did they make their career goals? How do they set? How do they tackle the situation if it comes? It always gives me a different mindset or a perspective to deal with.
Okay.
And fortunately, I've been in a good company always. I mean, the surroundings where I've
Hmm.
never I mean, they never made me feel that I am only girl in the team or I should be treated this way. So I was fortunate enough that I didn't have that circle around me. I was always treated equally in my team. That if I'm raising certain point, I got that approvals, or they made sure that I've been valued in my team. Or if I was not performing well, or if I was going somewhere wrong, so they always guided me or mentored me correctly. So it all depends on you, how you take, how you make friends, how you network. So it's that. But yeah, even if you're facing those situations, which very rare happens, that you feel that like the promotion or the things which I said, so yeah, make sure you join those communities, make network. There are always plenty of options available. It's all on your mindset, how you deal with it and how you tackle, because every failure will lead you to some good destination. I have failed multiple times in my life, and I have always succeeded out of it. So everything happens for a reason. Make sure you take it positively and work on it and have something out of it.
That's absolutely great, and it's inspiring that every woman right now in the audience is gonna feel the same thing, that it's in head, and if we will brag that thing, everyone will brag it. So it's
Yeah.
upon us that we have to think upon that topic and distract from our goals, or just to focus on our goals first, and then rest is everything.
Yeah, it's the society, I think, which makes us feel always that way,
Hmm.
that you are a girl, you should not do this. Because when I was working into, like, I had, like, 2 years back, I was working with North America clients. So people used to
Okay.
say me that you'll get married and how will you work in night shift? How will you manage your
Hmm.
family? And I was like, it's fine. If my husband can work, even I can work.
Hmm.
It's all how you are dealing or how compatible are you with your life or the surroundings around you. So it's not like, that's what I will say. How you take things from
Hmm.
people, it all depends on you. Because they will tell that, yeah, how can you do this? How can you do? It's you. How you have to decide what you want in your life. How you, because you, once you don't allow others to give that control, you should not give the life's control to other. It's your life. You should have that remote and you should work on it. So whenever if anybody is underestimating you, you just hear it. Make
Hmm.
sure you are validating it. Just not listen to whatever people are saying, and
Hmm.
you know what's right for you and what's wrong for you any day. So
It feels like I'm overwhelmed right now. It feels so good to hear this. Okay. So now it's time for the spotlight. So we have a questions from audience. They have already sent us. So can we have them? The
Yes.
first question is, I'm an MBA candidate with 4+ years of experience, now switching my career to IT. So I want guidance how to build my resume so that it can increase weightage of my resume. This question is by Vrishali Sheke.
So I would suggest her is like I don't know what's her background before MBA.
Mm-hmm.
That some ambiguity is here. So if she has done some technical stuff, because I have seen people coming from MBA working into tech, so she
Mm-hmm.
can maybe go for some product manager kind of roles where she can bridge the gap and use her MBA as well as her technical skills if she wants to switch here. Not a complete transition, this would be, but yeah, a mix of what she has learned in MBA, where she can use her managerial skills as well as having the knowledge of how IT works. She can
Mm-hmm.
work on it. So if she is targeting for that and want to transition into IT, she can have that product management or program management things done, in which her MBA degree will also be used. Uh, if she's adding that, so make sure she adds things like the things she has done in her MBA. Like MBA is all about management things which you do. So have those keywords and all included. And the technical, if she's doing anything related to IT, any course or any certification that she can add, and maybe that can help her to, because this is very ambiguity. I don't know about her background, what she has done. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just assuming that if she has done MBA in HR and she wants to switch to IT, so complete instead of complete transition because it's into HR, she can have some 1-2 courses of technical done and maybe go for some product manager or product management jobs. So her both degrees will be useful in that case.
Yeah. Can we have the next question? Okay. What are the expected skills from a college pass out student for companies like Microsoft? A question by Mansi Joshi from KK College.
So the basic skills is have your basics clear. That's what I said. Your DSA, your operating system, your networks. There are like 4 subjects you can target on: operating system, networking, DSA, or any one language. Stick to it. Have the in and outs of those basic core subjects because that's where IT works. You should know how the operating system works. You should know how the data structure works. You should know how to code. So you should know one language. You should know how the real world networking connects, where the IPs go, where the routers go, where the switches go. So if you have all these 4 subjects, along with that, your soft skills, also your program solving skills, your critical thinking. How do you deal with the problem? How do you encounter? It should not be like if you are given a problem, you're just directly rushing to the solution. It should not be that way. How do you break down it? How do you get to the core of it? How is your understanding about it? So that's something is expected from a college pass out student.
Okay. I hope Mansi had her answer. Can we have the next question? Okay, can we get an internship slash placement in MNC without DSA? Question from
Mm,
Pratima.
yes, you can. But
Mhm.
again,
Hmm.
it depends on the profile which you're going. So if you're going for any support profile, they don't ask
Hmm.
you that kind of DSA.
Hmm.
I mean that high level of DSA where they expect you to code and everything. But in that case, then you should know other administrative things like maybe your SQL languages, your networking. So yes, there is a possibility. But yeah, DSA is something must. There will be one question about it. It's not like they won't ask you anything, but it's just the expectation of the role will be not that much of deep there where you expect a coding or that. But yeah, it is possible. It's not, but the pay scale will be different, the jobs will be different, everything will be different. So basically we'll be dealing with entire different life. But yes, there are options where you can go without DSA,
Okay.
where you can
Can-
go for SQL admin roles, network admin roles.
Hmm.
So there are many options, and this works then into shifts. Then again, your life will be in mess if you're working in shifts. So yeah, it's again your personal priorities. Yeah, you can land up. There's no such hard and fast rule where you have no DSA.
Okay. Can we have next question? How to stay updated with the fast-paced technologies by Swarali Bedse.
So to stay updated, what I do is I follow many tech channels on YouTube
Okay.
or something. If you're on Instagram, there are many tech communities or
Hmm.
some influencers, technical influencers, not the other. So you can follow them. They keep posting about the things,
Hmm.
or you can join some groups. So I have joined one group where it's like a school of adults, which I've joined, where we discuss every Friday about the latest things. So you can participate in various communities where you have that knowledge, where people, like-minded people are there who don't discuss people but discuss technologies. So you have to follow those people. So yeah, if you're with the right circle, you'll always discuss good things. Or you can go with the technical blogs that are available. If you are following any news channel, there are spaces. Like if I do read Quora, so there is a space where you can follow for
Hmm.
technology. Or if you're going for Reddit, there is also a space where you can follow technology, and they are suggesting you with the latest things. So if you have that, if you find some, if you're reading any thread or a blog, and if you find something interesting, then what I do is I have, like if I'm reading any article, I'll go find a technology which is interesting me. Then I'll find if there is any free course available on YouTube. I don't invest into direct courses. I first see if it's really fascinating me from free channels. If it is, then I do invest for a good course, and then I keep myself updated by doing those certifications or joining those groups. But initial is just talking to people how they work, or if something, if you want to transition into something into the first, if you are into Java and you want to transition into data science, suppose. So make sure you follow right people on LinkedIn. They also keep posting about the things. Then you can ask them if they can talk to you one to one. People do guide. Even if you want to review your resume, you can ping people. They do a free review of the resumes also. So that's way you can have that fast pacing technology, like by doing good courses, talking to people, joining good communities, reading good blogs, watching good YouTube videos. So that's what we do. And the other thing is, then you can keep yourself practicing whatever you're learning, because it's not just like you take the things. If you're consuming, then you should know where to implement it. Otherwise, there's no use of learning things. So make sure if you're consuming any content, make sure you're using it in real life. That way only you can read somewhere.
Okay. Do we have next question? Okay. How to go for Microsoft placement round if it is not coming from campus recruitment in our college?
Uh, they do have. They used to have one program called as Microsoft Aspire, but they don't have now.
Mm-hmm.
So currently, I will also have to research if you want to go for off campus, because off
Mm-hmm.
campus they do hire is very less, like
Mm-hmm.
very less. If you are from a tier 2, tier 3 college, then only they come for on campus placement. But yeah, you can always, what you can do is have one company, whichever you're getting as a fresher, work there for like 1 year, 2 year, get good experience, and then switch as a lateral. So that's always an option. That's what I did. So yeah, you can also follow the same, because getting hired as an on campus is very less unless and until you're not from a top tier college. And the programs are also not that much that is available. Even if it is there, then there will be a lot of competition. So what I would suggest is go for whatever you're getting as an on campus, and then after 1 2 years switch as lateral to Microsoft. That's always an option you have.
Okay. So we have one more next question. Okay. Can we have that?
So if you want to go for certifications,
Mm.
certifications are important, but my personal experience, if I tell you, it is just like, if you're just adding it, it won't make an value. So what some people do is, like what I've seen is, they'll just complete a course of 2 hours, but they don't know what's happening in and out. So if you're doing some certification, make sure you know the basics at least. Because when you go for an interview, they will ask you, like, if you have done this course, what did you study? And the other thing is, yes, it does add a technical expertise, because as a student, everybody will have the same knowledge. Like when you pass out, everybody will study the same subjects. So if you want to stand out, certification will make you stand out from the other crowd. But just don't do it for the sake of doing, I would say. Make sure you understand like what is happening, and then only you add it to your resume. Yes, it does give you the benefit, like it helps you to stand out from the crowd, because not everybody will do it. If you are targeting for a specific role, make sure you have a relevant certificate, not like something you're adding which is not is mentioned in your job description. So add something which, or do something which will take you somewhere if you're investing like your 2 hours, 3 hours. And don't directly go for a certification. First, make sure if you are interested in certain technology, you browse through YouTube, go through like 2 3 videos, make sure you're really interested into it, and then spend your money on the certifications. Yes, if you're going for a free certifications, then yeah, then that time you can do. But something, if it is paid, make sure you do your research and homework and then only spend on it.
Okay.
It helps you
Uh,
to stand out from crowd, shows that you are
hmm,
eager to learn things, shows that you can like learn on your own, maybe self
hmm,
learning. It's something, yeah, these 2 3 points will help you
hmm, hmm,
to make what is different from others. So it's a good idea to have certifications on your resume, but not just for the sake of adding again. Because if
hmm,
you're just adding it, it will make a zero value if you're not able to answer the questions. Because myself, when I applied for Microsoft, I
hmm.
had done a few certifications, which I didn't like. I had no idea, like interview will ask me, but he was like, okay. And that certification I had done like 2 years back, and he had asked me the question, okay, what was the things that you learned? So yes, I was able to answer that. But if you're just doing it for the sake of doing, or you're just adding any fake certification and everything, that won't add anything. So if you're writing something, make sure you know it,
Hmm.
or at least an idea before interview. Make sure the course which you have done is, you have like just skim through it so that you can answer it.
Okay. Uh, Now we will come to the Q&A part. If anyone from audience have doubts regarding the today's session, feel free to ask by shooting them in a comment section so ma'am can answer those questions. Guys, if you have any doubt regarding today's session, please let us know through the comments. Okay, so Anurag Wag have a question. How can our open source contributions help to get jobs in MNCs?
So yeah, it's a good question. When you're contributing open source, not everybody does that. So when you're adding this to your resume, it shows that you are investing in your self growth, self learning, and you have hands on the technology which you are working on, because it will be like the projects which will be contributing. So yes, it does help you to get a job in an MNC, because you can show your practical experience apart from the theoretical things that you study in your college, and that helps you outstand from others. So that's something I would suggest everybody should do.
Okay, can we have the next one?
So
Okay.
communities can benefit in your career. Basically, network. The more you network, the more referrals you get. Like I have friends working everywhere: Google, Adobe, Microsoft, maybe the Arista, the network companies that are there, or payment companies like Mastercard, Visa. So when you join those communities, right, you talk to people, you make that connection with them, and whenever you are switching anywhere, you have that referral opportunity, because you know that if there is any vacancy, you can always reach out to them. So landing your dream job is where your communities help. Also, when you're connected with like-minded people, you get to discuss technologies or any trending issues or any trending things that are happening in the market. You develop your soft skills. So yes, joining a community will definitely benefit your career. And the main thing is you'll land up in a good job, because there will be people from different streams, different companies, different hierarchies. So you get to know, interact with them, and that's how I have made friends in my life. So yes, definitely. And there are special, like if you go for Adobe, they just hire for women. Like since we are targeting on this women empowerment, so Adobe is a company which focuses on hiring girls. So if
Ah.
you have friends from there, so you can make
Mm-hmm.
friends by joining such communities. Or if you are having any career gap, especially for girls, many companies, even Microsoft does that, they give a 6 months internship program after your career break. So if you are part of this communities, you get to know about such things that are happening outside, like which program is coming for girls. You can join them, and yes, you'll definitely be benefited from there.
Okay. Can we have another question?
Yes.
Okay. So Advait Shukla is asking, what are the opportunities ahead in the era of low code and no code platforms?
So it's something like even I can relate to. I am not a person who likes coding. So yeah, there are many opportunities which you can go for people who don't like coding like me. Because yes, not everybody will like to sit in front of laptop and code 24 into 7. So in that case, there are many jobs. As I mentioned, you can go for admin jobs like SQL admin, networking admin, or you can go for management jobs, which is like a product manager, project manager. Then there are many other jobs which comes with this incident manager. So if you, as a fresher, you won't get that opportunities that much. But yes, once you get a job, you can later explore such things. Like if you're going for a product manager, that time you can have both of your skills, like your technical skills as well as your management skills. So yes, there are many opportunities in IT where you can earn good without your coding. So definitely not
So
a
people
full
like,
stop if you don't. Yeah, even I am working into non-coding now,
hmm,
where I deal with like Microsoft clients. We work on their issues. So
hmm,
yes, definitely you can do that, and you can
that's
get paid
great.
also well. But yes, you just have to explore, and as a fresher you can't explore that
Hmm,
because very less chances you will land up with such opportunities. But yes, once you have like 1 or 2 years of experience, you can explore those opportunities.
nice. Do we have another question? Okay.
So you've completed your BCom and you're pursuing MBA in IT and have 1 years of experience. So what is your experience is like, this is 1 year of experience is into IT, or how is it? Okay, so I'll just answer a generic thing. So if you're going for MBA in IT, you'll be having, as far as I know, MBA in IT has networking, database, and like few core subjects. So you can like work as I said, that management role, where you can have like the PM thing. If you are going for it, will have this MBA in IT where you know you should know technology as well as your managerial skills. So you can opt for that role, but since you are a fresher, very difficult. Go with the role that ever you are landing up, and then yes, there later you can use this degree on your resume, and then you can transform your career. But as a fresher, there are very limited opportunities where you can choose what you want. So whatever you get, I because this is a recession, everybody knows that recession is in the market. So whatever job you're getting, I would say go for it, and then later you can connect with the industrial experts, talk to them like how their team functions. You can take up the extra task, and you can also add it in your resume that apart from your main thing, you are working on this, and then you can showcase it. So that's how you, like many companies have that policy, like 80/20, where you're working 80% on your project and 20% on what you like. So in case as a fresher you are joining, work on 80% of the work that is assigned to you. Take the 20% as something what you want to learn, or take your career. Suppose if you're working into Java and you want to transition to data science, so connect with the data science team, ask them if they want any help. So tell your manager later that yes, I have worked, whenever I was working I was doing my task assigned, but I was also working with this team. But again, it depends on your company policy. My previous org, we had that 80/20 policy where we were able to work on the things which we liked. and that helped me to transition. So that's something depends on your company policies how you can transition. Any other questions we have?
Can we have some questions? Did CP will help or development to land a job in MNCs?
So can you explain me the full form of CPR? I mean, I don't know what he's referring to.
Competitive programming. It's about
Okay,
like.
okay, okay.
Mhm.
Got it, got it. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, like, is that
Mhm.
same what he's talking about? Yes,
Mhm.
yes, it does help you to land a job in MNC. If you're doing competitive programming, there are many websites also where you can practice. Like if you're doing lead code or HackerRank, so as far as I remember, in my college days, if people were doing this competitive programming on HackerRank, there used to be many competitions that were there, and later it used to help them if you're having a good score. Maybe companies reach out to you. So yes, that does help you to land a good job in a good MNC. But yes, it requires a lot of coding, practicing, because it's a bit of complex topic if you're going for, and many less people go for it. So yes, it definitely, if you're interested, you will definitely land a good job if you are doing a good practice and you have a good rank on maybe lead code or hacker rank on you have practiced all the topics that are there. So yes, it will definitely.
Anurag is saying thanks to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, so I hope we have one more question. Okay, how to improve our answers while interview and appear more professional?
Make sure you practice before going for an interview. So, as I mentioned, the basic questions like how do you introduce yourself, or the positive things about you, or the negative things about you. So, make sure the basic, these are something that interview will for sure ask you. So, make sure you have written them before, because whatever you write, it becomes in your head. That's what I practice. So before going, what I used to do is I used to have a group of friends where we used to practice questions with each other, like a mock interview. One will become the interviewer, other will become the interviewee, and then we used to have that one on one. Then we used to give feedbacks to each other. Make sure you have a whenever you're discussing anything. So if somebody is asking you question, so I'll tell you my Google experience, where I was interviewing for Google, and I didn't have that question clarity that what interview is expecting from me. So they gave me a code of Python and asked me to like work on it. So I thought it is maybe something related to syntax, and I didn't ask him the question. I was thinking, and it was like 15 minutes was given to answer that question. So later, like when 5 minutes were left, I asked the interviewer, I don't see any syntactical errors. So what am I supposed to do over here? And his question was, we want to work on the complexity of the code, and I just ran out of time. So make sure that nobody will give you the complete picture in the interview. Sometimes it's just the ambiguity that's given to you to test how keen are you to know the problem. So it's your responsibility that you ask questions, make and whenever you're talking in an interview, make sure you're speaking your heart out or writing things down, so that the other person will tell you you're going on a right track or a wrong track. Or you can also ask for hints, that what I have seen, like whenever I get stuck anywhere, I ask the interviewer that am I on the right path or not, because sometimes you think that you're going right, but the other person is expecting something different from you. So in that case, make sure you and the interviewer both are aligned on the same page. So it's your responsibility to keep asking questions, to make sure that you are on the right page. If you are stuck anywhere, you can ask for hints, and that doesn't make you I mean, that doesn't disqualify you from an interview. They do give you hints. I have been given hints in my visa interview, and that helped me to go in certain direction, because sometimes you do get stuck. But yes, you cannot directly ask. You have to like tell what's going in your mind to the interview, because if you keep speaking, the other person will know your thought process, the way you're approaching a problem, the way you're thinking, the way you're tackling it. So yes, that's what I follow. And don't bluff, that's what I said. Like whatever you know, just speak that. Don't try to, like, if you don't know a thing, it's fine, completely fine. They don't expect you to, like, if you are asking 10 questions, they don't expect you to have all the 10 questions correctly answered. It's completely fine if you don't know. Just say that yes, I don't know it, I have heard it for the first time maybe, or whatever you have the understanding, you can speak about it. And say that yes, if given an opportunity, you would like to learn more about it. But just don't, for the sake of saying, say anything. It's absolutely completely okay to say no if you don't know anything. That's how you practice your interview. And the more you do mocks, the more you join the groups. Even on the Facebook also, there are many sessions. If you want to practice interviews, you can ping in that, like, I want to practice about this topic, is anybody interested? People do reach out for help. They ask you questions where you can polish your interviewing skills. The pace of the, when you're talking, the pace should be like bit slow, so that the other person also understand. If you're going for coding interviews, make sure you are with your pen and paper and not just talking, because you can write down and show like what is going in your mind. This is how the data structure looks. This is how it functions at the back end. Pen and paper, using a pen and paper is always a good idea in the interview. Uh, like it shows like you know things. You are not just saying it for the sake of saying. So yes, that's how it helps.
Thank you, ma'am. Uh, and that's the wrap to our today's session. Thank you so much, ma'am, for guiding us today. It was a great having you. And Microsoft Learn student community will be back with such amazing events. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you,
And
everyone. Thank you for inviting me. It was great, like talking to you. So you guys can always reach out to me on LinkedIn,
yeah,
and feel free to get any referrals or any suggestions if you want.
thank you so much, ma'am. For those who have participated in Hacktoberfest and want to know more about our upcoming events, please fill this check-in form. Links are in the description, and you can scan this QR code for the same. Also, ma'am's LinkedIn is provided in description, so make sure to check that out and connect with them. It was great having you, ma'am. It was really great.
Thank you
Like
for
hearing
inviting
you,
me.
yeah, hearing you was like a mentor is guiding us throughout the session.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
so
I would
much.
say you're doing a great thing, because in my college days, I never participated in such things. So, yeah, definitely this will help you land somewhere, because you're learning a lot of things. You're interacting with people, you're connecting to
Hmm.
technology. And I always feel that before making mistakes, learning from someone else's mistake is always a good idea,
Yeah.
because you save your time. So, when you're talking to people, you get to know how they prepare. So, that's working something
Hmm.
smartly you guys are doing. And like knowing, getting to know from others experience. So yes, definitely keep doing this and join more communities, interact with more people. That will definitely help you stand
Thank
out
you,
from
ma'am.
others. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.